The champagne flute shattered against the marble floor of the penthouse, shards scattering like brittle stars under the glow of the crystal chandelier. "You're firing her? On Christmas Eve?" Austin's voice cracked, raw and disbelieving, as he stared down his father, the man who'd built an empire on ruthless decisions. Elias Harrington didn't flinch. He never did. His steel-gray eyes fixed on the city skyline beyond the floor-to-ceiling windows, where Manhattan's lights mocked the warmth of the holiday season. In the echoing silence that followed, a soft gasp cut through from the hallway. Justin Morales, barely 23, froze in the doorway, his calloused hands still clutching the tray of half-polished silverware. He'd overheard it all. His mother's dismissal, the end of her 20 years of quiet loyalty to the Harringtons. And in that moment, as Austin's gaze locked onto his, something ignited, a spark of shared fury, fragile as fresh-fallen snow, that neither could name yet. Austin Harrington had always hated Christmas. Not the tinsel or the carols blasting from every corner of Fifth Avenue, but the hollow ritual of it all, the catered galas where his father's business associates slapped backs and swapped deals disguised as eggnog toasts. At 28, Austin was the reluctant heir to Harrington Enterprises, a real estate conglomerate that devoured blocks of the city like an insatiable beast. He lived in the shadow of his father's penthouse, a sprawling fortress of glass and steel overlooking Central Park, where the trees stood bare and judgmental in winter. Austin's days blurred into nights of board meetings and bourbon, his nights into anonymous hookups that left him emptier than before. He was gay, out to a select few, but in the Harrington world, vulnerability was a liability, love a distraction. Maria Morales had been the housekeeper since Austin was a boy, her presence a steady hum in the chaos of his upbringing. She was from Oaxaca, her English laced with the warmth of sun-baked earth, and she'd raised Justin in the cramped staff quarters downstairs, away from the Harringtons' polished orbit. Justin had grown up invisible, polishing banisters and dodging the elder Harrington's curt commands, but he'd inherited his mother's fire, dark eyes that saw too much, a lean frame honed from hauling laundry up endless stairs. Now, with college dreams deferred by student loans and his mother's medical bills, Justin worked double shifts, sketching architecture in stolen moments, dreaming of a life beyond servitude. That Christmas Eve, as the city wrapped itself in red and green, Elias dropped the bomb over dinner. "Maria's services are no longer required," he'd said, fork midway to his mouth, as if firing a woman who'd mopped his spills and soothed his migraines was just another line item. Austin had exploded, the champagne his weapon of choice, because what else could he do? His father was a monolith, unyielding as the skyscrapers he'd erected. Justin had come up to clear the plates, his footsteps silent on the Persian rug. He wasn't supposed to hear, but the penthouse acoustics betrayed him. When Austin turned, their eyes met, Justin's wide with shock, Austin's stormy with something deeper, pull he couldn't shake. "You can't do this," Austin said again, but now it was to both of them, his voice softening as it landed on Justin. Elias waved a dismissive hand. "Efficiency, son. The market's shifting. We've got apps for that now." He rose, coat in hand, off to some midnight merger meeting. The door clicked shut, leaving the wreckage, broken glass, unspoken grief, and two men who shouldn't have been alone together. Justin knelt to gather the shards, his fingers trembling. "It's okay, Mr. Harrington. I can clean this." "Austin," he corrected, dropping to his knees beside him, their hands brushing over a jagged piece. The touch was electric, unintended, but neither pulled away. And it's not okay. None of this is. Justin looked up, snow from the window ledge dusting his lashes like unintended glitter. She's all I have. We moved here when I was 5, chasing the American dream. And now, his voice trailed, thick with the accent Maria had passed down, a melody of resilience and ache. Austin's chest tightened. He'd seen Justin over the years, flashes of him in the kitchen, laughing with his mom over tamales, or sketching on a napkin during a rare break. But tonight, under the weight of betrayal, Justin was vivid. Sharp jawline shadowed by stubble, full lips pressed thin against hurt. "Stay," Austin said, impulsive. "Both of you. Christmas is tomorrow. Let me fix this." Justin hesitated, the tray forgotten. "Fix? You think money?" "No. Not money." Austin stood, offering a hand. "Just time. Please." Against every instinct screaming class divide, Justin took it. They cleaned in silence, the city's hum a distant lullaby. By midnight, Maria joined them, her eyes red but fierce, refusing pity. They shared leftover prime rib on the balcony, wrapped in Harrington blankets that smelled of wealth, watching fireworks bloom over the Hudson. Laughter crept in, tentative Justin stories of Oaxacan fiestas clashing hilariously with Austin's tales of stuffy galas. For the first time in years, Austin felt seen, not as the heir, but as a man unraveling. As dawn pinked the sky, Justin lingered, helping Maria pack. "Thank you," he murmured to Austin in the foyer, their goodbye hug lingering a beat too long, bodies aligning in a way that whispered promises neither dared voice. For seeing us, Austin watched them descend in the service elevator, heart pounding. He didn't know then that this was the beginning, or that the truth buried in his family's past would shatter it all. The next day, Christmas morning, Austin woke to an empty penthouse, the tree's ornaments mocking him with their perfection. Elias had left a note, bored at noon. "Handle the Morales situation." Rage simmered, but so did resolve. He called in favors, a lawyer friend, HR contact, anything to reinstate Maria. By afternoon, he'd secured her position, with back pay and benefits. But when he texted Justin the news, the reply came swift. "Can't. Mom's pride. We're out." Panic clawed at him. He grabbed his coat, hailing a cab through the slushy streets to their walk-up in Hell's Kitchen. The building was a relic, fire escapes dripping icicles, holiday lights flickering like weary fireflies. Maria answered, apron dusted with flour from some defiant baking spree. "Senor Austin? What? Where's Justin?" He was breathless, snow melting into his collar. She stepped aside, ushering him into the cramped living room where tinsel draped a second-hand tree. Justin emerged from the kitchen, sleeves rolled up, flour on his cheek like war paint. "You didn't have to come. I did." Austin's words tumbled out. "I fixed it. Your mom can stay." "No." Justin's eyes flashed. "We don't beg. Not from people like you." The words stung, class lines drawn sharp as a knife. "People like me? What does that mean?" "You know." Justin crossed his arms, but his gaze softened, tracing Austin's face. "The ones who hire us, then discard us." Austin stepped closer, the room shrinking. "I'm not them. Not with you." His hand reached out, thumb brushing flour from Justin's cheek. Time stilled, the air thick with unspoken want, the scent of pine and cinnamon wrapping around them. Justin's breath hitched. Austin. Their lips met then, soft and searching, a collision of worlds under the mistletoe Maria had hung ironically above the door. It was clumsy, born of adrenaline and ache, but it deepened, hands fisting coats, bodies pressing as if to merge the divide. When they broke apart, foreheads touching, Justin whispered, "This can't happen." "Your world, our world," Austin countered, fierce. "Let me show you." That kiss unlocked something feral in Austin. He convinced them, bargained, pleaded, until Maria relented, agreeing to return after the holidays, on her terms. Justin stayed that day, the three of them building a gingerbread skyline of Manhattan, laughing as icing towers toppled. But as evening fell, with Maria napping, Austin pulled Justin onto the fire escape, the city a glittering canvas below. "I meant it," Austin said, lacing their fingers. "I want this. Us." Justin searched his eyes, vulnerability cracking his armor. "I'm scared. I've never. With a guy. Not like this." Austin's heart swelled. "Me neither. Not real like this." They kissed again, slower, the cold biting but desire warmer. Snow began to fall, fat flakes catching in Justin's hair, and Austin thought, "This is Christmas. This is home." But shadows loomed. Elias's return that night brought the first fracture. He eyed the Moraleses' lingering presence with suspicion, his questions probing. "What's this softness, Austin?" "Charities for the boardroom. It's humanity, Dad." Austin's retort was steel, but inside, doubt flickered. How long could he shield this fragile thing from the Empire's jaws? As the week blurred into New Year's, Austin and Justin stole moments. Late-night walks in the park, bundled against the wind, sharing dreams over street vendor hot chocolate. Justin talked of architecture school, his sketches of sustainable homes for immigrant families. Austin confessed his loathing for the family business, his secret nonprofit sketches for affordable housing. Their worlds overlapped in unexpected grace. Justin's warmth thawing Austin's cynicism, Austin's resources fueling Justin's fire. Yet tension brewed. Austin's ex, a sleek venture capitalist named Derek, crashed a Harrington party, his jealousy a venomous undercurrent. "Slumming it with the help?" he'd sneered, loud enough for whispers to spread. Austin shoved him into a coat closet, fists clenched. "Say that again, and you're done." Justin heard the rumors, saw the bruises on Austin's knuckles. "This is your life," he said one night, tracing the marks. "I don't fit." "You do," Austin insisted, pulling him close. "You're the only thing that does." But the shocking truth simmered beneath, waiting to erupt, a secret from 20 years past, tied to Maria's hiring, that would redefine betrayal. January's bite sank into Manhattan like a grudge, the holiday glow fading to gray slush and subway delays. Austin threw himself into the charade of Harrington Enterprises, but his mind wandered to Justin. The curve of his smile, the way his laugh echoed off high ceilings. They met in hidden pockets, rooftop bars in Brooklyn where no one knew Austin's name, or Justin's tiny studio apartment where canvases of blueprints leaned like sentinels. One frigid evening, after a board meeting that dragged like molasses, Austin surprised Justin at a community center in the Bronx. Justin volunteered there, teaching drafting to kids from similar backgrounds, dreamers with calloused hands and wide eyes. Austin watched from the doorway, anonymous in a beanie and jeans, as Justin knelt beside a boy no older than 10, guiding his pencil over graph paper. See? That's your future skyline. Mijo. Build it strong. Pride swelled in Austin's chest, mingled with envy, for Justin's ease with purpose, a life untainted by legacy's weight. When the class ended, Justin spotted him, surprise blooming into a grin. What are you doing here? Rich boy. Stalking my boyfriend. The word slipped out, bold and new. Justin's cheeks flushed, but he pulled Austin into a hug that smelled of chalk dust and possibility. They walked the snowy streets after, shoulders brushing, breath fogging the air. Justin shared stories of his childhood, sneaking into construction sites with his mom, dreaming of designing homes that didn't trap people in concrete cages. Austin opened up about his own ghosts, the coming-out fight with Elias at 16, the boarding school isolation that followed. I learned to hide, he admitted. Built walls higher than Dad's towers. Justin stopped under a street lamp, snow haloing his dark hair. Then let me in. He cupped Austin's face, kissing him slow and deep, tongues tracing apologies for past silences. Passers-by blurred into irrelevance. In that moment, they were the center. Back at Justin's place, barriers crumbled further. Clothes shed like old skins, bodies explored with reverent hands. Justin's tentative touches giving way to confidence, Austin's urgency tempered by care. They moved together on a mattress that creaked like a confession. Whispers of "I love you" gasped into sweat-damp sheets. It was messy, real, the kind of intimacy that scarred souls for the better. But dawn brought reality's chill. Maria called, her voice tight. Elias is asking questions. Be careful, hijo. Justin's face fell, the afterglow dimming. We can't keep this secret forever. We won't, Austin promised, though doubt gnawed. He had a plan. Confront Elias after the quarterly earnings call. Lay it all bare. Love as leverage. Vulnerability as weapon. The call came days later, a bombshell from the family lawyer. Your father wants you at the office. Now, Austin arrived to find Elias pacing, a manila folder slapped on the desk like an indictment. What's this? Austin demanded. Due diligence. Elias's tone was ice. On your little charity project. And the Morales boy. Austin's blood ran cold. You spied on me? Protected you. Elias opened the folder. Photos spilling out. Austin and Justin in the park. On the fire escape. Blurred but unmistakable. He's using you. Maria's history. It's dirtier than you think. Lies. But Austin's voice wavered as Elias slid over a faded newspaper clipping. Oaxacan immigrant in custody after theft scandal. 2004. Maria's face stared back. Younger. Haunted. She was caught stealing from her previous employer, Elias said. Jewelry. Cash. I hired her anyway, gave her a chance. And now her son's repaying the favor, worming into my family. Austin reeled, the room spinning. You don't know him. I know patterns. Elias's eyes bored in. End it, or I end her employment. Permanently. Fury propelled Austin out, straight to Justin's. He burst in without knocking. The clipping crumpled in his fist. Tell me it's not true. Justin's face drained of color as he scanned the article. It is. But not like that. He sank onto the bed, story pouring out in halting Spanish-inflected English. Maria had been desperate. Justin's father dead from a factory accident in Mexico. Bills mounting. The theft was a single necklace, pawned for medicine. She'd confessed, served community service. But the scandal followed like a shadow. Elias had hired her out of pity, or so she'd thought until now. "Why didn't you tell me?" Austin's voice broke. "I was ashamed." Justin reached for him. "Feared you'd see me as less." The touch burned. Austin pulled away, walls slamming up. "I do now. How can I trust?" "Trust?" Justin stood, eyes blazing. "I've given you everything. My heart, first. You think money buys truth?" The fight escalated. Words like shrapnel. Austin accusing manipulation. Justin hurling back privilege's blindness. A vase shattered, echoing that first champagne flute, and Austin stormed out. The doors slam a final punctuation. Days blurred into a numb haze. Austin threw himself into work. Derek slithering back with oily sympathy. Offering distractions Austin numbly accepted. A night of regretful sex that left him hollower. Whispers circled the office. The air unraveling. Consorting with the help's kid. Elias watched, smug, as if victory tasted like aged scotch. Justin, meanwhile, fortified his armor. He applied to night classes at Pratt Institute, scraping funds from odd jobs. Maria noticed his silences, the sketches now edged with jagged lines. "Amor duele, but it teaches," she said over Pozole, her hand on his. One stormy February night, Austin cracked. Rain lashed the windows as he drove to Hell's Kitchen, soaked and shaking. Justin opened the door, wary. "What do you want?" "You." Austin stepped in, dripping on the threshold. "I was wrong. Scared. But it's real." Justin searched his face, rain mingling with tears on his cheeks. "Prove it." Austin did, dropping to his knees, not in supplication, but surrender. He pulled Justin down, their kiss salt and storm, bodies crashing like waves against rock. Forgiveness came in gasps, in the press of skin, in vows whispered against collarbones. "I love you," Austin said, meaning it bone deep. No more hiding. They rebuilt slowly. Date nights in dive bars, where Austin learned to two-step to mariachi on a jukebox. Justin attending a Harrington gala incognito, his borrowed tux hiding the fire in his eyes. Elias's glares sharpened, but Austin held firm, funneling company resources into Justin's community projects, a subtle rebellion. Spring bloomed tentative, cherry blossoms dusting Washington Square Park where they picnicked, legs tangled on a blanket. "Marry me," Austin murmured one afternoon, half joking, a daisy chain his ring. Justin laughed, but his eyes held weight. "In your world, they'd crucify us." "In our world," Austin countered. "Screw them." But the shocking truth brewed, a poison pill from the past. It surfaced in May, during a routine audit of old Harrington files. Austin, digging for leverage on a rival developer, uncovered a locked drawer in Elias's study. Letters, yellowed and tied with twine. One name leaped out, Morales. Not Maria, but Javier, Justin's father. Heart pounding, Austin untied the bundle. The letters were from 2003. Javier pleading for work. "Senor Harrington, my family starves. One chance." Elias's replies were curt, then affectionate, too affectionate. Photos followed. Elias and Javier, arms slung casual at a construction site, eyes lingering. A final note. In Elias's scrawl, he left for Mexico. "Broke my heart. Keep Maria close for him." The world tilted. Elias and Justin's father, lovers? The implications crashed. Maria's theft, a cover for Javier's flight from a scandalous affair with the married Harrington scion. Justin wasn't just the housekeeper's son. He was the son of Elias's first love, making Austin and Justin half-brothers. Nausea rose. Austin bolted, the letters clutched like damning evidence. He drove aimlessly, rain-slick streets mirroring his turmoil, until instinct pulled him to Justin's. Justin answered the door in sweatpants, hair tousled from a late-night study session, blueprints scattered like fallen leaves. "Austin? It's midnight. What's wrong?" Austin thrust the letters forward, words choking. "Read this." "All of it." Justin's brow furrowed as he scanned the pages, color leaching from his face. "Papa. And your father." He sank to the floor, back against the wall, the bundle trembling in his lap. "This can't." "It is." Austin paced, the room closing in. "Elias was in love with your dad. Javier left because of it. Scandal. Shame. Maria covered it up, took the fall for the theft to protect him. And you're his son." "Elias's son." Justin recoiled, eyes flashing. "No. My blood is Mexican, through and through. Papa was straight. The letters say different." Austin's voice cracked. "Intimate. Detailed." Horror dawned in Justin's gaze, mirroring Austin's. "We're brothers." The word hung, a guillotine blade. "Not full," Austin whispered, but it meant nothing. The romance that had bloomed in stolen kisses now wilted under Taboo's glare. They sat in stunned silence, the city's distant sirens a mocking dirge. Justin broke first, voice raw. "I need air." He grabbed his jacket, fleeing into the night. Austin followed, the rain a cold lash as they wandered Hell's Kitchen's neon veins. Bars spilling laughter, couples huddled under awnings, oblivious to the apocalypse unfolding. Under a flickering bodega sign, Justin whirled. "This changes nothing." "Everything." Tears mixed with rain. "I love you, Austin. But if it's wrong." "It's not." Austin grabbed his arms, desperate. "Incest? Maybe technically, but we didn't know. It's fate's cruel joke, not sin." Justin shoved him back, anguish twisting his features. "Fate? Or Elias's legacy poisoning us too?" He stormed off, leaving Austin adrift in the downpour. The next weeks were purgatory. Austin confronted Elias in the penthouse, letters slamming the desk like thunder. "You knew? About Javier? About Justin?" Elias's face paled, then hardened. "Ancient history." He chose to run. "You loved him." Austin's accusation landed like a slap. "And now your pity hire was covering your mess." "Justin's your son?" "No." Elias's laugh was bitter. "Javier swore it was his wife's alone. But the boy, he has his fire. If it's true, his karma's bite." Disgust roiled Austin. "You destroyed them. And now us." Elias leaned in, eyes gleaming. "End it, or I expose Maria's full story." Deportation papers are easy. Blackmail's vice tightened. Austin spiraled, nights in Derek's bed, chasing numbness, days negotiating deals with mechanical precision. Whispers grew, the Harrington air cracking, rumors of a breakdown. Justin fared no better. He withdrew, sketches abandoned, volunteering sporadic. Maria sensed the fracture, her questions gentle but probing. "El amor verdadero resiste tormentas," she said. But Justin only nodded. Hollow. Derek pounced on the vulnerability, cornering Austin at a rooftop fundraiser. Heard about your little family secret. Tragic. His hand lingered on Austin's shoulder. Possessive. I can make it go away. For old times. Jealousy and despair twisted Austin's gut. That night, he drank too much, let Derek's advances blur into betrayal. A frantic hookup in a hotel suite, guilt crashing like waves post-climax. This doesn't mean, Austin started, but Derek's smirk silenced him. It's what you need, Derek purred. Stability. Not scandal. Word reached Justin via a concerned mutual friend, a bartender who'd seen them leave together. He confronted Austin in Central Park, cherry blossoms mocking their wreckage. Him? After everything. It was a mistake. Austin reached out, but Justin flinched. Mistakes? Or escape? Hurt laced his words. You think I don't see it? The pull back to your world. I want you us. Austin's plea fell flat. The truth doesn't change that. But it does. Justin's voice broke. Half-brothers. Austin. Society would crucify us. Your father would destroy my mom. Then we fight. Austin stepped closer. Desperation fueling fire. DNA test. Prove it's not blood. Build something new. Justin searched his eyes, longing warring with fear. And if it is? The question hung, unanswered. They parted with a ghost of a kiss, lips brushing like farewell. Summer scorched the city, humidity mirroring the sweat of secrets. Austin commissioned the test in secret, a lab in Jersey promising discretion. Waiting was agony. Stolen glances at galas where Justin catered incognito, their fingers brushing over past hors d'oeuvres, electric with unspoken pleas. Results arrived on a sweltering July 4th, as fireworks cracked over the East River. Austin met Justin on the Brooklyn Bridge, the span a neutral ground between worlds. He handed over the envelope, hands steady despite the quake inside. Justin tore it open, scanning the sterile printout. Negative match. Relief flooded his face, then suspicion. Elias lied. Or guessed wrong. Doesn't matter. Austin pulled him into an embrace, the city's pyrotechnics mirroring their spark reignited. We're free, but freedom tasted bittersweet. Trust's fractures lingered. Justin's wariness of Austin's lapses, Austin's fear of Elias's next move. They dove back in cautiously. Weekends in the Hamptons, Austin's borrowed beach house, a sanctuary where they swam nude in moonlit waves, bodies rediscovering rhythm. Derek's shadow persisted, his texts a drip of poison, he'll drag you down. Austin blocked him, but the seed of doubt sprouted. At a family dinner, Elias insisting on reconciliation, Derek appeared as a guest, his presence a calculated stab. Over filet mignon, he toasted, to unexpected kinships, his eyes on Justin, who stiffened beside Austin. Later, in the powder room, Derek cornered Justin. He's using you. The thrill. When it fades, back off. Justin's shove was fierce. I know his heart. Better than you. But the encounter festered. Justin pulled away again. Nights spent at Maria's, soul-searching over her adobo. Am I enough? He confided. Without the drama? Maria cupped his face. Erie's to do. But love needs roots, not storms. Across town, Austin unraveled a deeper betrayal. Hacking Elias's emails, a low Austin never thought he'd stoop to, revealed payments. Hush money to Javier's old associates, ensuring silence on the affair. And more, Derek on the payroll, feeding intel for months. The ex wasn't just jealous, he was bought. Rage propelled Austin to Derek's loft, confrontation exploding in shouts and shattered glass. You sold us out? For what? Promotions. Derek sneered, blood trickling from a split lip. Elias offered stability. You were chaos. The fight ended with Austin's fist, Derek's nose crunching, sirens wailing in the distance. Austin fled to Justin, confession spilling under the Williamsburg Bridge's graffiti-veiled shadows. He betrayed us. Both. Justin's anger mirrored his. Then we end it. Together, they plotted in whispers. Leak the emails anonymously. Force Elias's hand. But as autumn leaves turned, Elias struck first, firing Maria publicly, citing irreconcilable differences. The scandal sheet fodder implying theft redux. Justin exploded to the penthouse, Austin at his side. You bastard, the slap echoed, Maria's handprint blooming on Elias's cheek. Elias rubbed his jaw, eyes on Justin. Like father, like son. The room froze. What? Justin demanded. Elias's laugh was hollow. Javier suspected. The timeline. If you're mine, it's poetic. DNA lies shattered anew. Austin ordered another test, but dread coiled. Their love, once sanctuary, now teetered on a precipice of blood and lies. Fall's chill wrapped Manhattan in amber decay, leaves crunching underfoot like brittle promises. The second DNA results loomed, a sword over their heads, but Austin and Justin clung fierce. Nights tangled in sheets, days plotting Elias's downfall. They leaked snippets to a trusted journalist, a queer ally from Austin's nonprofit days, framing it as corporate corruption with a personal twist. The article dropped mid-October. Harrington Ayers' father, tycoon or tyrant, whispers of embezzlement, affairs, immigrant exploitation rippled through boardrooms and bars. Elias weathered it with lawyers, but cracks showed board members defecting, stock dipping. Amid the storm, Justin's vulnerability surfaced. If it's true, he said one night, tracing Austin's jaw by candlelight, we stop. No taboo. Austin's heart ached. I choose you anyway. Blood be damned. Their lovemaking that evening was tender, almost elegiac, slow rolls of hips, gazes locked, as if memorizing in case of loss. You're my home, Justin murmured, climax shuddering through them like shared salvation. The results arrived on Halloween, ironic amid costumed revelry. Austin met Justin in a quiet Washington Square arch, the envelope burning in his pocket. It's negative, he said, voice thick. Again. Javier's. 100%. Relief crashed. Then fury, at Elias's manipulations, the years of shadows. Justin sagged against him, sobs muffled in Austin's coat. We're free. Really free, but victory soured. Elias retaliated viciously, freezing Austin's accounts, cutting off the penthouse. Earn your keep, he snarled over speakerphone. Or crawl back, homeless in spirit if not body. Austin crashed at Justin's, the tiny apartment a crash course in humility. Shared showers to save water, ramen spiced with Maria's herbs. It bonded them deeper. Austin cooked breakfasts, burning toast but earning Justin's kisses. Justin tutored Austin in Spanish, their laughter echoing off thin walls. Derek, cornered by the scandal, lashed out. Anonymous posts on X labeling Austin a family wrecker, Justin a gold-digging spick. Hate mail flooded, slurs carving fresh wounds. One night, after a brick through Justin's window shattered glass and peace, Austin held him through tremors. "We'll sue." "Fight." Justin nodded, but fear lingered. "Your world hates us." "Our fight," Austin corrected, fierce, "builds a better one." Thanksgiving brought fragile grace. Maria hosted, her tiny table groaning under turkey and mole. Elias sent a courier. Divorce papers? No. Resignation demand from the board. His empire crumbling. "You're doing," the note read. "Proud?" Austin burned it in the sink. Flames dancing like exorcism. Let him rot. Post-holiday, momentum built. Austin's nonprofit surged. Funded by defected Harrington allies, Justin enrolled full-time at Pratt, his designs winning grants for eco-housing in the Bronx. They moved to a loft in Bushwick, exposed brick, skyline views earned, not inherited, christening it with love that shook the rafters. Winter returned, snow blanketing the city in hush. Christmas approached, a test of scars. Austin planned meticulously. A rooftop party, just them, string lights and spiked cider. But Elias crashed it, uninvited, gaunt in a cashmere coat, eyes hollow. "I came to end this," he said, voice gravel. "The leaks ruined me." "Good," Justin spat, stepping forward. Maria flanked him, chin high. Elias's gaze softened on her. "Maria, Javier broke me. You healed, in ways." She slapped him again, softer this time. "You broke us more." He turned to Austin. "The boy Justin's not mine. Tests confirmed, privately. But you're all I have left." The admission hung, paternal plea laced with regret. Austin's throat tightened. "Then change. Or fade." Elias nodded, defeated, vanishing into the snow like a ghost. Relief washed, but the night deepened shadows. Alone on the rooftop, Austin pulled Justin close. "Marry me." "For real?" Justin's eyes shimmered. "Yes. But on our terms, no Harrington ghosts." Their kiss sealed it, snowflakes witnesses to renewal. Engaged, they dove into wedding plans. A spring ceremony in Central Park, queer inclusive, with Maria officiating a blessing in Nahuatl. But betrayal's echo lingered. Derek, facing charges for the harassment, flipped in a plea deal, revealing Elias's final card. Forged documents implying Justin's immigration fraud, a deportation threat. It hit like lightning. ICE agents at dawn. Maria in cuffs temporarily. Justin's world fracturing. Austin lawyered up. Protests erupting, queer activists. Immigrant rights groups rallying under rainbow flags and Love Wins banners. In the courthouse chaos, Justin gripped Austin's hand. "If they take me, they won't." Austin's vow was iron. "Fight with me." The case dragged. Headlines blazing. Billionaire's son battles deportation for lover. Public sympathy swelled. Elias's empire donors withdrawing en masse. In a twist, Elias testified against his own forgery, redemption's bitter pill. "I was wrong. Let him stay." Charges dropped. Maria cleared. But the ordeal scarred. Justin's trust in the system shattered. Austin's faith in family reborn in fragility. As spring thawed the city, their wedding dawned perfect. Sakura petals carpeting the park. Guests a tapestry of worlds. Austin's activist friends. Justin's construction crew. Maria beaming in indigenous embroidery. Vows exchanged under an arch of woven vines. In shadows and storms, I choose you. The reception pulsed with joy, drag queens DJing, tamales and cupcakes flowing. But as dusk fell, a shadow approached. Elias, uninvited again, envelope in hand. Birthright, he said to Austin. The company. If you want it. Austin glanced at Justin, dancing with Maria. No. Build my own. Elias nodded, tears unshed. Javier would be proud. He left, a bridge half mended. Austin rejoined the fray, pulling Justin into a spin. Husband, he whispered, ring glinting. The shocking truth, that final, buried letter Elias slipped away, confirming Javier's paternity doubts but affirming love's transcendence, changed everything. Not to divide, but unite. Austin funded Javier scholarships. Justin designed memorials to lost immigrants. Years blurred, their loft filled with blueprints and laughter. Adoptions whispered of. Christmas became sacred, not Harrington Hollow, but Morales Harrington Hearth, with snowmen and stories by firelight. In the end, love wasn't the fall. It was the rise, from ashes of betrayal to skyline of grace. Yet the path to that hearth wound through thorns sharper than any scandal. Post-wedding, euphoria faded into the grind of dual careers. Austin helming his nonprofit, Haven Heights, converting luxury flops into affordable co-ops. Justin interning at a green architecture firm, his designs blending Oaxacan motifs with Manhattan minimalism. Their loft buzzed with late nights. Austin poring over grants, Justin sketching under a single lamp, feet tangled under the table. Intimacy evolved too, less frantic passion, more quiet devotion. Mornings began with coffee kisses, Justin's head on Austin's chest as rain pattered the skylight. We made it, Justin murmured one dawn, tracing wedding bands worn thin by time. But ghosts resurfaced. Elias, semi-retired to a Hamptons exile, reached out sporadically, awkward brunches where he'd probe Justin's heritage with veiled curiosity. You have his eyes, he'd say once. Over mimosas, Javier's phantom invoked. Justin stiffened, but Austin squeezed his knee under the table. Eyes that see through bullshit, he'd quip, diffusing with humor honed from boardroom battles. Deeper cuts came from within. Derek's trial unearthed accomplices, Harrington execs who'd greenlit the smears, forcing Austin to fire old mentors. Sleepless nights followed, Justin holding him through doubts. You're not him, Justin soothed. You're better. Maria thrived, opening a catering side hustle specializing in fusion feasts, pozole with a Manhattan twist. Her pride swelled at Justin's first solo project, a community center in Hell's Kitchen, walls etched with immigrant stories, rainbow murals nodding to queer resilience. Christmas that first year as husbands was magic reborn. They hosted, string lights draping exposed beams, a tree adorned with fused ornaments, Harrington silver bells beside hand-painted piñatas. Guests spanned spectra. Queer couples from Austin's network, Maria's church ladies, even a tentative Elias, who arrived with a vintage Javier sketch as peace offering. Toasts flowed to survival, to love's alchemy. As midnight neared, Austin pulled Justin to the fire escape, city lights a constellation below. Remember our first snow? He asked, breath fogging. Justin smiled, snowflakes catching in his lashes. The kiss that started wars, and won them. Austin knelt, not proposal, but reverence, kissing Justin's knuckles. Thank you. For fighting, tears glistened. For loving, their embrace deepened. Hands roaming familiar paths, the chill forgotten in heat's bloom. Back inside, cheers erupted, Maria's knowing wink, Elias's averted gaze a nod to acceptance's slow crawl. But the shocking truth's ripple extended further. Months later, during a routine checkup, Justin's bloodwork flagged anomalies. Echoes of a family curse? No. Stress from the scandals manifesting as early hypertension. A Harrington genetic shadow. Panic gripped Austin. We see specialists. Now, Justin's calm steadied him. It's manageable. Like us. Therapy followed. Couple sessions unpacking betrayal's baggage. Individual dives into identity. Austin reconciling heir's guilt. Justin embracing his dual heritage without shame. They emerged stronger. Vulnerability a superpower. Summer brought expansion. Adopting a foster kid. Mateo, a wiry 12-year-old with Javier's spark and Austin's sarcasm. The loft overflowed, bunk beds, Lego skylines cluttering counters. Bedtime stories blended English-Spanish. Austin's voice cracking on tales of two dads who built dreams from ruins. Elias softened incrementally, grandfathering Mateo with awkward fishing trips. His empire donated piecemeal to Haven Heights. Redemption's late. He confessed one autumn walk, leaves crunching. But yours. Forgiven, Austin said. The word a bridge crossed. Justin's crowning project launched that fall. Puente Homes. Eco-villages bridging immigrant enclaves with upscale burbs. Funded by Austin's network. Groundbreaking drew crowds. Politicians. Press. Queer icons toasting under a rainbow arch. As shovels turned earth, Justin caught Austin's eye across the crowd, mouthing ours. Winter circled back. Their third Christmas as a family. Mateo hung ornaments with glee. Maria's tamales steaming beside gingerbread towers. Elias arrived early. Sleeves rolled for pie assembly, a domestic thaw. Post-dinner, a snow fell soft. They gathered on the rooftop, string lights twinkling, city a hushed witness. Mateo dozed in Maria's lap, Elias nursing scotch with rare quietude. Austin raised a glass. To truths that shatter and rebuild, Justin clinked, eyes locked. To love that endures, in that circle forged from class wars, blood lies, betrayals mended, they found humanity's core. Not perfection, but persistence. The rich man hadn't just fallen. He'd risen, hand in hand with the housekeeper's son. Their story a testament that, in America's fractured heart, love could be the ultimate empire. Epilogue whispers years on. Haven Heights spanned boroughs. Puente Homes housed thousands. Austin and Justin, silver threading their hair, watched Mateo graduate architecture degree in hand, then danced at his wedding, snow falling like confetti. Elias passed peacefully, legacy rewritten in scholarships bearing Javier's name. And on quiet Christmas Eves, under rooftop lights, they'd kiss slow, murmuring, the shocking truth, we were always meant.